Hi, it's Bill DeWeese from voice-over-training.org. Did you know that one simple question can absolutely revolutionize your voiceover business? Because the questions you ask yourself determine the way that you look at your business, which ultimately determine the decisions you make. And so to be making the right decisions, you need to be asking yourself the right questions. And I was reminded of this a few days ago when my wife and I went to see the new Brad Pitt movie, Moneyball. And if you have not seen it, I highly recommend it. And pay particular attention to the shift in thinking that happens through the course of the movie regarding the Oakland A's baseball team and their drafting and recruiting of baseball players. And I won't give the movie away, but let me give you the basic premise. Brad Pitt plays the role of Billy Beane, who was general manager of the Oakland A's back in the early 2000s. And the Oakland A's have, at that time, what I believe is the lowest payroll budget of any team in Major League Baseball. And because of that, they are losing their star players to teams like the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox, who have very deep pockets. And so one day, Billy Beane is in a meeting with his staff, a bunch of older, more experienced former baseball players and baseball managers, gentlemen who are steeped in Major League Baseball history and tradition. And they begin this discussion, almost an argument of how they're going to go about replacing Jason Giambi at first base and all of these other guys who are such superstars. So the question they were asking is, how do we replace these guys? And Brad Pitt, a.k.a. Billy Beane, says, guys, we're asking the wrong question. We need to look at the problem differently, although he didn't really know what the answer was at that point. Well, later on, he ends up hiring an assistant general manager who was really a kid just out of Harvard who majored, I believe it was, in economics. And this kid told Billy Beane that Major League Baseball's thinking was medieval and that they were asking the wrong questions. And the question that they were asking at the time was, how do we replace these players? How do we recruit specific players for specific positions? And he said the question you should be asking yourself, and here's the payoff right here, is how do you score runs? Not recruit players, how do you score runs? And when they began asking that question and recruiting accordingly, well, I won't tell you the end of the story, but the results were absolutely amazing. Now, let's talk about your voiceover business for just a minute. Traditionally, for years, for decades, most voiceover talent and coaches have taught to approach voiceover work as, how much can I get paid for? How much can I make on a job? A specific job. How much do I pay for this? How much should I expect to get paid for this? And as a matter of fact, that's one of the questions that I get asked most by voiceover talent. Hey, I was offered this job, or I'm auditioning for this project. How much should I charge, or how much should I expect to get paid? Let me challenge you and say that you're asking the wrong question. The question that I asked myself that absolutely revolutionized my business and allowed me to quickly meet and exceed a six-figure income was this. Not how much can I get paid for this job, but how much money can I make a day as a voiceover talent? Now, that may not sound profound to you, but the results and the way I conducted my business had a profound impact and dramatically increased my income and empowered me to really move forward with my business. And again, the question to ask yourself is, how much money can I make per day in my voiceover business? When I first started, my goal was simply, I thought, and I say simply, but at the time it seemed like an unsurmountable goal, and that was, if I could just make $200 a day. That was my goal. If I can make $200 a day in my voiceover business, that I believe that I could make it as a voiceover talent. I could commit myself fully to this. And surprisingly, and when I asked that question and went after it and found ways to begin to fill my day with work that allowed me to make that much money, I was quickly making consistently $200 plus a day. So I increased my goal to $300. I began asking myself, what can I do? What kind of activities can I do? What kind of work can I do to allow me to make $300 per day in my voiceover business? Not based on number of jobs, not based on types of projects, but simply, how can I make this amount of money? Then I increased my goal to $400. When I exceeded that, it became $500, then $600, then $700. And the question that I ask myself now on a daily basis is, how can I make $1,000 a day in my voiceover business? And I don't hit $1,000 every day. but those days are becoming more and more frequent, and they're not unusual at all. As a matter of fact, yesterday I exceeded $2,000 in a day. Now, that is a bit unusual. I get pretty excited about that. But it won't be long before that will become more of the norm for me, and that will be the question that I ask myself: how can I make $2,000 a day in my voiceover business? Now, again, I don't know if you're catching the distinction here, but when you ask yourself that question, the way that you look at your business, the way that you market your business becomes totally different than when you start thinking about specific jobs and how much you get paid for specific jobs. How much can you make a day as a voiceover talent? And then how can you get the work that will allow you to consistently generate that income per day? Hey, if you have more questions regarding your voiceover business, how to grow your voiceover business, I strongly encourage you to check out voice-over-training.org. As a matter of fact, I have because of the volume of questions that I've received about how did you go about generating $200 a day, $500 a day, $600, $700, etc. I created a 4-hour video tutorial program called my VoiceOver Playbook, and you can find out more about that at voiceoverplaybook.com, voiceoverplaybook.com. But in the meantime, begin asking yourself an empowering question, which is, how can I make whatever your goal is, X number of dollars every day in my voiceover business? And I'll tell you, it will revolutionize your business, which will ultimately, and I don't mean to be, this may sound melodramatic, but it will revolutionize your life. When you're working from home full-time in your own voiceover business, it makes a dramatic difference in your lifestyle and the way you live your life and all the things that surround the hours that you put in your workday. So I do wish you all the best, and I hope to be able to hear from you soon. Where you can reach me at voiceoverexpert@gmail.com. All the best.